Hey, Jim Ernster here with this week's Leisure Outdoor Adventure Fishing Report for Leech Lake in Walker, Minnesota. This week on Leech Lake we had a lot of wind and a lot of rain, and that was followed by a lot more rain and a lot more wind. So it made conditions tough this past week. Typically this time of year you got to kind of make hay early. If you can get out fishing and you're fishing by 6 o'clock in the morning till about 9, 10 o'clock, depending on what the wind and waves are doing, that's usually kind of your best time. This week was a little bit more challenging. So a couple things that I did this week to help myself and actually help me put some fish in the boat was I kind of went a more high vis approach. I went to a painted sinker, just standard Lindy painted sinker. The other thing I do is I like to fish crawlers this time of year. July I tend to slow down a little bit, so I went also a little high vis. I used a half a floater. You can kind of see right there, half a floater, nice orange, bright. That water was pretty dirty this past week, so that just kind of gave me a little bit added edge. The other thing the floater does that I found is it keeps it above that sandgrass, which has grown probably around 8 to 10 inches this time of year. And so your sinker is what's dragging through, but that night crawler with the floater is staying above the weeds, and so really all you have to feel for is that fish biting. So that was one thing. When I moved to a weed line, anywhere from 20 to 25 feet, and again I was kind of playing the wind this week, cedar shoreline was good. I also went a little high vis. Just put it's an owner bead, just a little glow bead, as I was fishing minnows, creek chubs, red tails, whatever. Typically this got me northerns this past week, and that's okay. Northerns are fun to catch, walleyes are fun to catch as long as that pole's bending. That's all we kind of really wanted to see this past week. With conditions, not only was it wind and rain, but you had high pressure followed by low pressure, and then we got the added bonus of a cold front. One day it didn't even get above 60 degrees. But again, we got out there, we put some fish in the boat, but we did have to adjust. We had to go a little bit more high visibility this past week. Little orange floater in front of your crawler or a little bead in front of your minnow, and that certainly helped us put fish in the boat. Stable weather coming up for this next week. We look forward to the bite picking up a little bit. The other thing that's going to come into play as water temps start to rebound after this cold front is crankbaits, and that'll be something we'll probably talking about in next week's report. Jim Ernster, Leisure Outdoor Adventures with this week's Leech Lake Report.